Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commando, mercenary. Sentinel. Saboteur. Psy-freak. Commando. Deadeye. Mercenary. Commando. Psy-freak. Commando. Psy-freak. Choose your, define, encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Psy-freak. Saboteur. Psy-freak. Psy-freak chosen. That'll work. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads, but for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or you're in—
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around, eventually.
But what comes around goes all the way back around.
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all about natural selection, survival of the strongest, and so forth. If that's not instinct, then I don't know what is.
Natural selection is all about evolution and progress, and as soon as there's enough light, darkness darkness will disappear.
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die. Who needs a ladder? The oil sludge is everywhere. To most, it only means death. But some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. It's starting to add up. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Oh! The scrap keeps piling up. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. Of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. .21 gigawatts. Dead already. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have recognized you anyways. You look exactly like your Muma.
Mopu far kobi. Tamok gabamok tab.
There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end.
Koyetu koreboy to lua lu to luka.
He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to
Vunko vuntu.
It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land.
Mpa wherefore wewe to lua lu to luka.
After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the disciples turned against each other.
Tanzita dwella bofo yuba doluwawa.
Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. Sounds like he thinks she does, despite your heart growing dark. There's nothing as powerful as a Muma's. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See... You found one. You should be proud. They don't come up for everyone. The Nono's ki energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. He has the feeling the fate of the world depends. You need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the pensai tree. Oh, it'll need a continuous flux of ki over the 12 months to come, so countless, he'd say. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect her. You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. The land won't survive the side effects of the old world's industrial advance. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lots on her mind and needs rest after the raid last night on the Lupin camp with her disciples. Wonders if they let the Predator family live or not. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse that Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land set the World Eater's DNA into overdrive. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Googlide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own.
E bubugo von lunlun. Far come makoto far titabo.
He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved.
Balu kutulua oloi o bopaweg.
His friends have prepared something specific for each World Eater. The Mekton, the Octopod, the Majute, and the Googlide are almost ready to ride.
Tolomawawanya.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters.
To wowu.
You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark.
That's a
there to like about light?
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's...
There's Out of Date again. He must have missed something important.
Luatulu Maua.
Out of Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are two nearby.
Koibe o Korfabe.
The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor.
Yayato. Luatulu Maua.
Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world, and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way.
Cantita duela bofo.
Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side.
Atu Wamawa. Poyubut. Poigatawa.
He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part.
Befarbihita. Huntukub kirko. Famube. Mok kofar.
He can sense you share Myriad's view on the world. The Myriad would embrace someone willing to fight against the tyranny of the Jagni.
Nuekek. Ujbar no barke.
Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do.
Koyebun. Tuvun bunun.
Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the world. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad Tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. Wouldn't be surprised if you met again. Says they're cautious of non-allies. He let you in, but thinks you should be patient. The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's... But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next. He's convinced you've returned for a reason and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense your... The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat, and the Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good, and if you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of... He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. The Myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribes and take control of their destiny. The tribes need a firm hand guiding them into the future. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. They might bring them war, but they'll never He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon. Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with you. You were all part of the same tribe once, but without your Muma there. Seeing you brings back his memories of the old village. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code. He remembers your kind and unselfish soul and can sense you still have it in you, the will to do good. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival outpost. Even though it's now a different place from a different...
Tamatula pazwa prezia takrik ashwek wanianukwa.
You don't have it in you right now. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he always does better whenever he leaves failure behind. He's happy his good mood is infectious. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. He understands Wang Fu is hard. That's why your Muma only has 6 disciples. Doing just one thing helps you get more done in less. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. Why not? There's no better time to do what needs to be done than right now. He says that wasn't too bad, was it? At least you learned that you'll drown if you don't swim. But you need practice. Lots of practice. Great things usually happen to those who never stop trying. He hopes you'll be one of them. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. You can never try too hard. Judging by your Muma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. You know you can't make up for lost time. You should know, practice makes perfect. You have to keep working on it if you want to be good at it. She'll see you at the village square. She says that's good. With a passion for learning, you'll never cease to grow. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with is actually useful. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He thinks you're truly a... You should look for things that are recyclable. It shouldn't take you too long. He wonders what usefulness you found. He says whatever it is, it shouldn't be left lying. He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. That's the spirit. You can't make... He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found would be a good start. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He believes being... He understands, but hopes you won't be needing it anytime soon. He thinks mastering the 6 weapon styles of Wang... He's looking forward to seeing what you'll... It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone. She won't live forever, you know that. But she intends to make the most of every day she gets, especially the ones you share together. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her. Then start by meeting her on the village square and take it from there. She knows you're a free spirit, always on the move, like... They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. That makes him wonder why you were here looking for it. He wants to know who you think you are. You'll have to face pain at some point. He offers to help you get it over with. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? She says it's nice of you to consider them, but they have weapon training at sunrise tomorrow, so they'll need all the... The most important thing is that you're okay. It's time to focus on your training now. She said it before. Wang Fu will keep your body in good health, and that's how you keep... Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. He knows growing up is hard, and things will continue to go wrong as you become older and figure... He asks if you could help him, too, before you leave for training. He'll talk to her, sure, but you know she wants you to accept responsibility for your own actions and future. He suggests you get going and find him gadgets and ideas for how you can up... He's curious to see what you found. He's all for renewal and has even considered making the trip out into the wilds to look for a He can work wonders with pretty much anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. Thinks some are and some aren't. One thing's for sure, though. He's... The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. He knows she's already proud of you and everything you've... You should take it with you, wear it to practice. He thinks you should. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a...
Anora ka papong.
Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Anson bara.
Hopes you're as ready.
Dere vaseno kasaman varut.
She says she is eager to get started. You don't have much time left before the sun goes down.
Vaseno kasaman varut. Kamonu.
But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back.
Katya topolupta.
Wants you to...
Sadurutu.
Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Katya topolupta.
Thanks you for being...
Sadurutu. Antoro.
Been working on a present for you, with the help of Gizmo and Wiz.
Pendrine senema. Kanamunta.
You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it.
Antoro.
Says he's always thought... Catchy.
Andro?
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Kanamunta. Domale tuku.
Thinks you could say that about everything. She hopes you have better days ahead.
Tateko baba saktin. Andro?
A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in...
Aplitonumuta.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see.
Pala.
You're lucky to have such a fine...
Chialdo male canoro tono.
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day.
Amun.
Says a good rest makes you ready. Rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire. Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. This time there's no escape. She can hear him coming. He wants to destroy her. The time to fight is coming, whether she's ready for it or not. Whatever happens, you need to know she loves you, and everything she's done has been to protect you, your Popsy, and those she was chosen.
Droba.
She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History has finally caught up with her.
Ariaroche nui momera. Ruhemutono.
She loves how brave you are, but she can't be worrying about you while she fights. This is her fight. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. You're in pain. Itchy trigger finger. You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the Fluff Hulk out to the far Fnacky Leaves and let it go. They've received news a Ronin had strengthened their ranks and were looking forward to meeting you. A group. You should hurry there and help them best the outpost. The Myriad tribe is prepared to fight to the death for souls that will be forever lost if not saved. Look, an emergency box. Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away when they were done with it. Toxanol never cared about the waste, as long as they didn't have... There must be a track somewhere in this brick town. There's no time to look back. Too busy moving on. Let's see. Such a treasure! Looks like the Fry Sparker's knobs need to be in sync if you want to get the hardware working. Just a few moves left. Make them count. It's a Fry Sparker mindset. Boom, you got something. It's not exactly what you wanted, but you got it right away. A story has got to keep moving forward. A flush seems like the tighteners on the piping need to be unturned correctly to drain the flush stool. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's the kind of trouble you really want to wash away. Now you're styling. The board mainly has posts from those that used to work at the chug yard back in the days gone. They don't make much sense these days. Not much more to say about the board, but Gizmo is holed up in the underyard. The Toxanol Corporation used to run chugger-chuggers out of here, big machines on rails with smokestacks that fouled the air. They can carry you anywhere you like. Well, anywhere that they go to, and then you can... You're on the right track. Keep your eyes open. You might have to make your own path. This box once tailed a chugger-chugger. Now it's just off track. Look at that! Right in the chug yard! Follow the rails and you'll find all sorts of little treasures scattered all over the place. Who do you think? Good work finding that track. They can teach you so much about the world. Tribes always scavenging for scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they should have stuck to looting instead of playing around with sprockets. Bomber bonkers busy ram-banging the door. This is your chance. Not going to happen with your key energy level. Smirked! Getting there. You should be able to use that. Half-lifed. This is an epic already. How it ends is up to you. Yes, you can do anything. The sky's the limit. Now, let's take this back to Earth. Wow, you really took that all the way down to the end, in flames. Let's see. It's a wonder some of these up and downs still work. Guess they built machines better in the past. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the marine habitats, while the overflowing landfills contaminated the groundwater. Combined, this sent their world hurtling on an inevitable road to ruin. I need to brush up on my Wando, but I have a feeling he believes it was you that caused the bang at the yard. Oh, and he says he knows you. You used to call him Gizmo. He gave you the oil-greased hands when he taught you how to upcycle. Gizmo remembers you as a nice kidling, and he can still sense the warmth of your good heart. But Gizmo says how you experience a memory can be different. You know the story, but sometimes the truth it brings is personal. He hopes you remember that one time he taught you to upcycle, and hopes you've had some use for it over the years. Gizmo says he also has re-memories from the long gone, but unlike you, he doesn't think of the past, for it's gone. He understands history made Lupa Lupin a big part of your past, your present, and soon. You still believe there's some good in everyone. You still have hope. He says you should know that what's meant to be will always find a way, but history shouldn't consume you. Gizmo encourages that. You should forgive, but never forget. It'll provide some comfort.
Fan that flame!
Wait, no! Bright light blinds! It's
I've got all the cold sick burns.
Oh, do you have to insult me over this?
I don't have to.
Would like to know if you ever doubt the choices you made on the path that brought you to this point. Would you have been happier going in? Hard to believe the world is actually going to survive. Just seemed impossible till now. Grateful to you for coming back and doing your best to change things. You were the only chance they had. Wonders if you liked working with the Myriad. They always seemed so centered and so seeking. Figures everywhere. But that's not important. Gizmo says it's taken a long time to bring the past up to the present, and where you go from here is up to you. You need to set the past aside. He can't leave the underyard as he has no protection against the You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make them. It's the part of the land that suffered most from the apocalypse. It's deprived of... What's your choice? Dying? You'd better get a move on if you want to change things. There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. That's the leftover you're looking for. Balance is the key. Biohazard makes your skin crawl. Wow, lucky. Save your energy. Looks like the switches need to be turned to match so enough charge can flow through the conductors. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. He says that's enough to get the Mekton functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun and a gathering net, but no armor, nor enough oxygen supply. Something he devised to salve. He's been working on another project. The best way to find scripts is to go talk to Moog. Unfortunately, Gizmo thinks he's... so much better than legging it. The Grease Monkey's Mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Dead Zone. In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. That over there is Steepo Depot, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to. Get a grip, pace yourself.
Possibile. Il mot. Diavolo.